The 2025 Ram HDs are very close to being unveiled in detail of what they're going to be doing for 2025, and I would like to hear from you guys on what you think Ram should do for this new truck. Now, we do know a few things. Number one, these cabs and bed is not changing, so no need to talk about that. But what are some things that you hope to see for this 2025? I have a Laramie here. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker. I borrowed this truck from Larry H. Miller, Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram here in Sandy, Utah. And it's a good time to buy a Ram truck because they are discounting the mess out of them. At the very top is a description. And here is the base price, $63,805. Delmonico Red Pearl is the paint. And here is a short listing of the standard equipment. Be sure to pause it. Starting off the options is the heavy duty snowplow prep group, fifth wheel and gooseneck, night edition. Laramie level B is $2,160. And here is that 6.7 Cummins. A few other things down below. Destination comes in at $1,995 with a total price of $85,460. And as I mentioned, this truck has an $11,560 discount plus bonus cash, which puts it at $72,400. A lot has happened with this truck over the last 5 or so years. And if you don't remember, 2019 is when they technically redesigned this truck, although I still call it a refresh. 4.5 gen is what most people call it. But for 2024, the pricing got weird. They raised the price, then they lowered the price, and then they took away things that didn't make sense, like halogen headlights became standard on Laramie. Back in 2023, they took away the fender flares. So it just did not make sense on why they kept changing up this truck, taking away things, giving it things, increasing the price, lowering the price. Like, it was very confusing for me. I was really confused. But let's just say it, Ram is still a really strong contender if you're after price. And when you get this night edition package, it gives you this sport performance hood, which was added, I believe, back in 2023. Now, this package does have the LED headlights, incandescent turn signals, and of course blackout on the grille, emblems, wheels, everything, black recovery hooks. That's pretty much standard across the board now. Front parking sensors are there too, and this truck does have the active grille shutters. If you can't see it, they're actually closed off right now because it's a little chilly outside, just a little bit. Now this is blocked off, but I'm willing to bet you for 2025 they're probably going to make this functional. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm hoping that it does happen because, hey, the Cummins needs to breathe as much as it can, right? Now, I'm sure some of you guys are going to say these Firestone transfer tires. Now remember, there's just one thing you would change. You can't change 10 things. I said one thing. There's one thing you could change about this truck here. This is a Laramie 2500. What would you change? Just one thing in the comment section. So yes, this truck does have the Firestone transfer tires. If it were me, I would skip off on them changing this because I can just change the tires myself. That's easy. So I wouldn't put that on my list. But yeah, here's the tire size. It's an LT 285 60 20. I believe this is like what, 33.5 tall. Solid front axle. You guys see the suspension right there too. Here's a side view of the truck here. In the comment section, would you want Ram to add back those fender flares to standard equipment? I think that fender flares can make and break a Ram truck. And on a Laramie, they used to be standard. I feel like they could definitely add that back. Now that's not gonna be my point, but I just figured I'd point that out for some of you guys. Here's the mirrors. And they have the best because all this is power folding, power convex, and they're both heated. Lighting, painted door handles with smart key. These are not my favorite running boards. They're really nice, and I wonder if you could get these maybe PPF'd, because I'm willing to bet you over time these are gonna get torn up for sure. And I think they have a wheel-to-wheel ones too that you can get as well in that same design. And then here is where you're filling up at. Now, I think for some of you guys, if you had to pick one thing, at least match GM in the segment for a standard size 36 gallon tank. 5.7 gallon, I don't really care about this. I think that having smaller is better, personally. I mean, I know that might sound silly, but you're going to get at least 500 to 600 miles to a gallon, and that might be a big thing for some people not to have a bigger tank, because that's going to take away from your payload. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, coil suspension, not on an HD truck, right? I might agree with you on that one. That might be a part of my thing I would change on this truck, guys. 373 rear end comes standard, and I'm okay with that. Now, when they go with the 8-speed next year, they may not need a 373 rear end. You do have an option for air suspension, and then here is your spare tire. I haven't seen any updates for the bed, so I'm sure that they're going to be using the same tailgate that you see here. There is a light down there, and you have your 4 and 7 pin. They are the best for this. LED license plate lights come standard. I don't know why that should be an option, but it is class 5 hitch down there. Oh yeah, and those lights just came on too, so in case you want to see those. They do have the smallest bed in the segment, for sure, by far actually in some cases. They have a 400 watt power plug. I'm pretty sure we're going to see probably 2,000 watts to compete with Ford. And let's go ahead and pop the hood. Whatever you do, do not put more horsepower and torque with more gears, because we're pretty sure that that's going to happen for 2025. So supposedly ZF Powerline transmission, which is an 8-speed, should be behind the one and only Cummins for 25 and 3500 trucks. That is good news for some of you guys. This engine currently has 370 horsepower, 850 pound-feet of torque, 68 RPM, 6-speed transmission behind it. I know that it gets a lot of hate, that transmission, but honestly, I've had nothing but success with it. I've had one and I tow with it, no problems with it whatsoever. I've had friends who've had hotshot businesses who use only 68 RPMs because they wanted just the 10,000 pound gross fuel weight rating. No problems. As far as reliability goes for the Cummins, these trucks are having a cam and lifter issue, but what I will tell you is, from what I've been speaking with a lot of techs, I actually had one of my friends call me. He spoke to someone out east, and he said something that Josh said that you guys have seen on my channel. His channel is called Truck Stuff. Be sure to check him out. But make sure, if you're going into the winter time and you live in really cold climates, make sure that you are plugging your truck in and make sure that your engine is getting to operating temperatures 100%. That's all I'm going to say right now. That's all I'm going to say. Now, as far as the interior goes, I think most of us will say this. I don't care what they do with the interior. I think that Ram is still at the very top of the list for interior. If they gave it a bigger cab, it would get even better, but we know that's not going to happen, so no need to talk about that. But as far as this interior goes, they've always been number one. From 2019 until about 2023, I could easily say they had the best. Now that Ford has redesigned their interiors, they have definitely caught up for sure. And the biggest competitor currently right now is probably GMC with their Ultimate and AT4X trims for the HD segment. Now, these seats do have some suede material here. They always make tilt headrests standard. The other two don't make that standard. I think that Ram just does it right. The 12-inch display, I still like the orientation of that too. I like how they give you these covers, and they do have like this non-slip material here. They did take away the light that used to be right here. There used to be a light. Let me see if I can pop this out for you, the way you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, there used to be a light here, and now it's just a clip that used to be here for a light. But yeah, that's that cost cutting I was talking about. By the way, you have lumbar support. I think this is a 10-way seat too. Yeah, 10-way seat on the passenger side. And back here, they still have great storage options too, like on the floor here. They also are exclusive to have this tray. So if you do hot shot with a truck like this, you actually have a platform that you can actually sleep on back here. There is power outlets, outboard heated seats. This is a 6-passenger truck. I don't think the other two offer a 6-passenger truck with outboard heated seats in the rear. That's pretty cool. 400 watts of power. You have another one up front, I believe, too. Let's go ahead and jump back up there. Here's your digital gauge cluster. I would like to see this more standardized. even on the lower trim levels. Some people might disagree with me on that, but I do like the layout. Check this out too. You have your temperatures right there, and then you have your boost, exhaust brake, emissions crap. Yeah, this is a nice setup here. This screen here is my favorite still. Dual climate control. You still have heat and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. And on the newer trucks, you should be able to have a dual charger. So I'm looking forward to things like that as well. And I've always liked like this screen here. Like I've always liked this dashboard for their towing. And so they also show you the temperatures here. And then if you want to set up your trailer, it's just easy. They're all pretty easy, but I think that Rams is just the best. Maybe second behind GMC and Chevy. I think I like theirs a little bit better. And I didn't show this to you, but they have the best mirrors, so you have all this power lighting that you can control for those. Now, obviously, you guys know I do a lot of videos on Payload. So here are the numbers on this door. Here's what I would like to see them change for 2025, if anything else, because this will help them compete better with the other two. Gross axle rating out back is 6,040 pounds. The other two is like 6,300 plus, somewhere in there. And I think GM is actually like 6,600 pounds. So they're way higher than what Ram has to offer. And that measly 10,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating, absolutely terrible. And of course, because you have 10,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating, you have a measly 2,095 pounds of payload. So if they added 1,000 pounds to that GVWR, that would give you 3,095 pounds of payload. Now, I'm pretty sure Ram could beef up the rear end of this truck, make air suspension standard for like a max tow package, and then they could possibly increase the axle rating and the gross vehicle weight rating and give this truck a higher payload capacity to actually tow a decent size trailer. I mean, even as a conventional trailer, I can probably get really close with my black trailer. So I've had that trailer almost at 1,500 pounds. So when you include myself at 200 pounds, that only leaves me with 300 pounds of payload capacity, which is insane. So if there's anything I hope to see change on this truck for 2025, especially for the 3/4 ton segment, is 100% just more capacity for this truck. I think that it would help them to compete better, and then it would make it easier for people who don't necessarily need a 1-ton truck to still stay in this segment and get decent payload for a small fifth wheel. Hope you guys liked the video. As I said, be sure to check out Larry H. Miller's inventory here in Sandy, Utah. See you guys soon.